I could do that. Damn. There we go. Interesting. Pull-ups, push-ups, body weight squats. Son of a... Alright, kiddies. Today, as you can tell from the title, we're going to be talking about Gears of War 4. As a longtime fan of Gears of War, I started playing probably back about a year after Gears of War 1 came out. I remember I got a one of those things from GameStop. I think it's like 20% off a used game for your birthday. I went in and just saw the cover of Gears of War 3, and something about it just spoke to me, and I bought it, and I was in love with it ever since then. Since then, I've played 1, 2, and 3, a little bit of Judgment, and now 4. The Gears of War franchise holds a very special place in my heart. The game features my favorite gaming character of all time, Dom Santiago, who appears in Gears 1, 2, and 3. The scene that's currently playing in the background is the scene where Dom sacrifices himself to save the rest of Delta Squad. I'm not gonna lie, the first time I saw this, it made me cry like a little schoolgirl who just scraped her knee on the playground. Dom finding his wife for the first time in Gears of War 2 was also depressing and sad. Anyway. Hold it together, Dennis. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, let's get to Gears of War 3. Gears of War 4, I mean. Look what the sadness has done to me. Gears of War 4. Let's get to Gears of War 4. Gears of War 4, you play as JD Phoenix, James Dominic. He and his best friend Dell used to belong to the COG, but went AWOL for reasons unknown. This is really the only part of the story that really frosts my cake. Why'd they leave? They mentioned that Dell was the one who prompted the idea of leaving, but why? Why? Maybe Gears 5 will tell us, but we'll have to wait till then. After leaving the COG, JD and Dell join the Outsiders. They kind of remind me of the Stranded from previous Gears games, just in the fact that they don't have as much technology as the COG does, and they don't really get along with the COG at all. The leader of the Outsiders is a woman named Reyna, who is Kate's mom. Kate is the girl in this Gears. Reyna is a total badass, but she's hardly in the game, and it's truly a shame. She She's like the woman version of Machete, essentially. The game starts off with JD, Del, and Kate, and Oscar, who's Kate's uncle, stealing a fabricator, essentially a 3D printer on steroids, from a COG settlement thing. The COG's not too pleased with you breaking into the settlement, and are even more unpleased to see JD and Del. COG follows them back to the Outsiders settlement, and all hell breaks loose. The Outsiders are able to push the COG back, but then a new enemy emerges. The Swarm. The Swarm. Locust-like creatures that kill anything in sight. The Swarm kills and or takes everyone who is in the village, including Kate's mom, Raina. Cue the driving force behind this game. It's also important to note that the events in this game happen within, I believe, like a 24-hour time span. So it's like all of this happens in one day. With the creatures looking so much like the Locust, Old Man Logan, Old Man Marcus, is the Obi-Wan to JD's Leia. He's their only hope. I won't spoil everything, but on the way to get Raina back, Marcus is taken by the Swarm in this thing called a Snatcher. It essentially knocks you down. These tentacle things shoot out of its like womb thing, and it sucks you up. It's gross, but when it happens to you in the game, I couldn't stop laughing. Shit happens, and in the end, you eventually get him back. Marcus tells JD and his friends that the Swarm are all connected in some way. Whether it almost seemed like they're one mind, and that he saw Kate's mom, and what's going on with her is not pretty. Marcus admits that the threat is something that even he doesn't know how to deal with, and he can't handle it on his own, and that he's going to need to call in a friend. That friend being Baird from Gears of War 1, 2, and 3. Baird brings with him Cole, the Cole Train, and Sam, who's in Gears of War 3. Sam is Baird's new special lady friend, as he calls it, aka his wife. It's also important to note that Anya was Marcus's wife in this game, and is JD's mother, but she has passed away since Gears of War 3. They just kind of bring it up, say it, and don't really say what happened to her or how, but whatever. With the help of Baird, Cole, and Sam, you gear up for one final push to get Raina back. Oh, did I mention you get to pilot a big-ass mech in this part? Because you do. I'm not going to spoil the ending, because I feel that if you're a fan of Gears at all, you should definitely play Gears of War 4. For me, this is the second best game in the Gears franchise to date. First being Gears of War 2, obviously. There's not much to say about gameplay. The same old, Gears, and it does what Gears does best, if that makes sense. The weapons are cool and I enjoy using them, but like always, I found myself using the Nasher shotgun and the Lancer most of the time. The only other thing to talk about is graphics, and they pretty much speak for themselves. It's fucking gorgeous. I do have a few issues with this game, and they're minor. Very, very minor. Like, hardly worth mentioning, but I have to. The only issues being that the game keeps hinting at why Del and JD went AWOL from the COG, but they never talk about it. I want to know why. I also feel that Del is a weak character. He's supposed to be JD's best friend, but I feel that JD is much closer to Kate. The two of them have a very Marcus and Dom relationship, and the idea that they seem to be the only two holding each other up, and they're like holding each other together. They're what drives each other forward through this game. JD having Kate's back and saying, we're going to do whatever it takes to get your mom back, pushes Kate forward, and the fact that he wants to help Kate so bad is what pushes JD forward. Del honestly just seems to be there, and he's trying to be funny the whole time, but it falls flat on his face. If I want someone being a smartass in my Gears of War, I want it coming from Baird. Anyone else trying to be a smartass, and you just look like a dumbass. Lastly, the first act of the game is nothing but run and gun, with very little downtime. Kind of hard to explain, but Gears 1 through 3 has always had its little moments of downtime between fighting. Talk to the talk to Anya or just to talk to each other. It's hard to explain, but if you played them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Luckily, this changes after Act 2. Oh, and did I mention that they show Dom in the first mission of the game? Fuckers. Hit me right in the feels. If I had to give this game a rating 1 out of 10, this would be a solid 8.5 out of 10. And on the bun scale, since this is under the bun, this gets a pretzel bun out of buns. I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it's a little late, but better late than never, right? I feel that this game is amazing, and if you are a fan of Gears at all, this is something that you definitely need to pick up. I promise you, you will not be disappointed whatsoever.